Well, I remember John going, hey, we got to get these bodies off the roof. And he's thinking, he goes, well, let's get a toe strap, which is basically thick tube of nylon. We'll wrap it around our armpits and we'll lower them down together. And the two Delta guys finally get involved. They come up to us and they come up to John. They said, no, we'll get him down. We'll get him down. So I'm thinking they have some special contraption. You know, Delta's got something in their pocket. They can push a button and they'll zip the guys down. Well, Jack is on his building. He's still pulling coverage. He's still covering their sector, the D-boys are. Now keep in mind, we had been attacked for 2 hours. And we got the compound locked down now. He's pulling the sector. John is moving around trying to get some of his gear together and getting vehicles so we can get out of there. And all of a sudden I said, you could see Jack, even from my distance, you could see something went wrong. And he's like, but I didn't hear a fire. There's nobody shooting at us. And I look at John and you could just tell something happened, but I didn't know what it was. And I remember John told me, he goes, yeah, I go, what happened? And John's like, hey, look in the back and you're seeing the Delta guys roll Ty's body off the roof. It's like, bam. And I'm telling you this because you need to hear it. I'm telling you this because the parents weren't told this till we told them a year and a half after. Then we see Glenn's body do the same thing. Roll Glenn's body off the roof. I'm thinking, man, these guys are heroes. You don't treat them like that, and especially by our own people. They're heroes. They're our two medics. Glenn did everything he could to get the team to us. Ty had just bandaged my arm off because I sliced it open when a wall fell on me back over at the consulate. But what do? We still got a mission. We're dealing with adversity. It's another obstacle. We still got to get these people out of here. And we went and picked up their bodies. We put them on the back of a flatbed. We didn't have body bags. We put sheets over them. I said, put over both. And we got all of our gear up and we got ourselves out there. Now, we ended up getting to the airport. Pretty uneventful. There was a few things that happened during the book. But once we got to the airfield, a lot of different things happened there. I'm not going to get into it because I'm getting towards the end of my time. Just point out a couple things. I told you we got to the airfield. The flight attendant, she was actually a flight attendant standing at the door like a flight attendant does at this little regional jet. And she's in her uniform and she has no idea what she's getting into. And we drive up and we're bloody and just there's guys tourniquets on and just disgusting looking. And I remember Oz, I walked in and he said this. This is Oz, total cliche, and cowboy from Colorado. I walked into this country and we'll walk out. I think he was trying to recite a John Wayne movie, but that's what he said. And he's bleeding, I mean his arm's hanging, and he's peppered with shrapnel all down the side. And he gets out of the car and he just starts limping. And one of our old GRS guys that was acting as our medic, because our two medics had just died, was holding an IV bag up, following him. And that flight attendant just went, her eyes just shrilling, and she and she ran back in the fuselage, and we're thinking maybe she's getting a pilot or somebody to help out. Nope, she comes running out, she's got a stack of white towels about this high. Putting them all down, so I was like, this is awesome. And I'm looking around going, man, we gotta be on candid camera. What the heck is this? He climbs up there, gets on. It's not enough, it doesn't have enough room for all of us, so we had to get Dave Ubin on. Now, Dave is really messed up. Dave is losing a lot of blood because basically his leg and his arm have basically been amputated. We've got tourniquets on him. And Dave's like 6'3", 240. He's a big dude. Dave Ubin. So we're trying to maneuver him onto that basically is like a regional jet, like a United Express. And we get him on and he starts to go into shock. And like, what's going on? Well, one of his tourniquets came loose, and the GRS guy he did a very good job. One of the GRS guys from Tripoli that was acting as our medic, I can't give you his name because he's still working, very good friend of mine. He actually lives in the area. But he saw it immediately, and he got the tourniquet retightened back on, and all of our soft skill people, all of our non-shooters, got on the plane, they closed the door, and we hear a crack. Like, oh, what was that? Well, even our contractor technicians, like our HVAC tech, our cook and things, they can carry weapons. The thing is, though, is they must not teach them at HVAC tech school that when you clear your weapon, you drop your magazine, then you rack the slide to the rear, then pull the trigger. It's not drop the magazine, pull the trigger, and then slide. So that's what it was. He basically shot in the plane. And the plane just like, it stops, door comes open, because the pilot has to find the bullet, and we got to know if he shot anybody. So we get in there, and he didn't shoot anybody, and we had to find the bullet because the pilot wasn't going to leave. And again, God's looking out for us. It's lodged in the back of the frame of one of the seats. We find it, again, they take off, they're out of there. So it's about 8 o'clock now, 9 o'clock, they're out. Now we're still there. We still haven't gone anywhere. Now, the ambassador's body was found. Ansar al-Sharia somehow had got a hold of it, and they took him to the main Benghazi hospital, which was controlled by Ansar al-Sharia. But one of our people there, one of our locals there in Libya, was able to talk him into bringing him to us, and they did bring us the ambassador's body. And I did inspect it. So all the conspiracy theories out there that he was drugged through the streets, well, that didn't happen. I looked at his body from this far away. I opened up his body bag because I wanted to check to see if he was mutilated, because I was at Ranger Battalion, and all us Ranger guys know about Black Hawk Down. I was in with Blackwater in Iraq when Scott Helveston and Zovko was drugged through the streets. So I wanted to make sure he wasn't mutilated, and he wasn't. Now, I can't tell you if the genitalia was. I've heard that before. It was cut off. I didn't know. But I did inspect his body from what I could see through the body bag, and also I want to make sure there's no IEDs, improvised explosive devices, in the body bag. Zipped it back up. It's 9:30 now, and we're waiting. Okay, we're gonna get out of here. I remember going to our GRS team leader from Tripoli, who was a solid guy. He was an ex-recon Marine, going, hey, how are we getting home? Are we getting out of here? It's like, I'm working on it. 10 o'clock comes around, there's still no plane. 10:30 comes, and we see a cargo plane, a C-130, start to land in taxi. And I'm thinking, whoa, woo, America's better late than never. Here they come. All right, well, he said, give us a ride out. Well, we're standing at the edge of the tarmac like this, and I'm looking at, got my weapon here, got my bag here, got my go bag looking, and I'm looking at the tailboat of the plane, and I'm seeing green in the tailboat. I'm like, man, I don't remember Star and Stripes having green in it, but well, maybe it's from Mexico, I don't know. So it's flying out, it just taxis, and it's a Libyan flag, and it just kind of goes right on by us, and just keeps going. Now, normally when you're going to do a hot load, which we would generally do because pilots don't want to shut their engines down because it uses light as too much gas. So we figured they're going to stop, drop the ramp, turn around, we'll run in, they'll take off. Well, they just keep going, and they drive, and they drive, and they drive a half mile down the road. They put in a little parking space with a C-130 station. They turn the engine off, shut down, the pilot starts to get out. And I look at my team leader, I'm like this, and he doesn't know. He's like, and they jump in a vehicle there. One of our local liaisons at the airport had a truck. They jumped in it, they drove down there. They talked to the local pilot. I see him nod his hand, the Air Force pilot, Libyan Air Force pilot. He calls his crew, they get back on the plane, they turn the engines back on, they turn the plane around, they drop the gate, we get on, and we leave. That plane wasn't for us. It just happened to show up. I don't know if I'd probably be swimming the Indian Ocean to Australia to get back here. But, that kind of hurt, because I cannot tell you with 100% certainty that we weren't left there to die. I can't tell you that if we were. All I know is what happened to us, and all I can tell you is what happened on the ground that night. Now again, I skipped a lot of stuff. The book goes in a lot greater detail. I'm giving you my perspective. There's 5 other perspectives on there that you can read about and go through a lot of the attacks a lot more in depth. But what I really want to get folks get out of this is not the negativity of what happened that night. It was a great night. I got to do a lot of things that I was trained and bred to do. But also I got to work with my brothers. And there's no more love that you can have with your teammates than you put in situations like that. And I got to experience that. I experienced it for a lot of years, but at the utmost that night. And we've also continued to get to experience that because we're still fighting. We're still kind of fighting our own government right now, which is poor, but hey, it's building character, it's building us, it's bringing us together. But it also, what I want to tell you folks, this is the biggest thing, and I want to thank you guys more than anything. I went to Sanaa, Yemen after Benghazi. I kept working. I didn't like my government. I didn't want to be in the States anymore. I thought I got turned on. Screw this place, I'm leaving. I went out. When the book came out, I started to speak, and I got to see crowds and more patriotic people again. I got my patriotism back. I was going to go off the deep end, and you folks really, every time I speak, I get a little bit of that back. So I want to say thank you. Really. Thank you, folks. for listening to me, and please don't thank me. I want to thank you guys. Thank you for just being patriots. It makes me feel good again. Thank you.